The case grew cold until a single forensic test changed everything. The blood on Daniel's steering wheel did not belong to him. It belonged to his wife, Melissa Cross. The discovery stunned everyone. Melissa was the last person anyone suspected. Quiet, reserved, a church-going woman who volunteered at bake sales and school events. She was the opposite of her volatile husband. But DNA was unyielding. The blood was hers. When detectives confronted her, Melissa's composure cracked. She sat in the interview room, her hands trembling as she twisted a tissue into shreds. "Melissa," Hale said gently, "we found your blood in his truck. We need to know what happened that night." For a long time, she said nothing. Finally, her voice broke. "You don't know what it was like living with him." "What do you mean?" Benton pressed. "He'd come home angry. Every night was a storm. I hid it from everyone, even the kids. But that night," she swallowed hard, "that night he was worse. He said I betrayed him. He shoved me, hit me. I grabbed the knife. I didn't mean to. I just wanted him to stop." Melissa's story was one of silence and suffering. For years, she had endured Daniel's temper behind closed doors. He controlled her, humiliated her, and when the rage was worst, he hit her. She had stayed for the children, kept the bruises hidden under makeup and long sleeves, and maintained the mask of the dutiful wife. But the final blow came when she discovered Daniel's secret life with Claire and the child. It was the ultimate betrayal, and it pushed her beyond the limits of what she could bear. On the night of July 14th, Daniel had come home in a fury. He accused Melissa of betraying him to the police. The argument escalated quickly. Shouts turned into shoves, shoves into violence. In the chaos, Melissa grabbed a kitchen knife. She struck once. The wound was deep, but not immediately fatal. Daniel staggered out of the house, bleeding, and tried to make it to his truck. Melissa followed, panicked. He climbed into the driver's seat but couldn't go far. He collapsed near the dirt road, gasping for breath. Melissa admitted she dragged his body into the woods, desperate and terrified. And then he was gone. To this day, Daniel Cross's body has never been found. Melissa never revealed where she left him. Not during interrogations, not at trial, not even years later from her prison cell. That lingering mystery remains the most haunting aspect of the case. Did she bury him deep in the forest? Sink him in the river? Or was someone else involved in hiding the body after she fled? The truth has never surfaced. In 2019, Melissa Cross stood trial. The courtroom was packed every day, the town split down the middle. On one side, those who saw her as a battered woman who finally snapped after years of torment. On the other, those who believed she was a cold-blooded murderer who destroyed her children's lives along with her husband's. During the trial, the prosecutor argued, "This was no act of desperation. This was calculated." Melissa Cross eliminated her husband and covered it up. Her defense attorney countered. She was trapped in a cycle of abuse. She did what she did to survive. The jury settled on manslaughter. Melissa was sentenced to 18 years in prison. The fallout devastated everyone connected to the case. The Cross children were placed in foster care, torn from the only home they had ever known. Claire Simmons withdrew from the public eye, raising her daughter quietly, away from the glare of scandal. The community itself seemed fractured. For years, Daniel had been both their benefactor and their curse. His disappearance forced them to confront an uncomfortable truth. They had allowed themselves to be blinded by his generosity, ignoring the poison he brought into their town. Detective Hale, who had once imagined cartel gunmen and rival executions, was left to reflect on the irony. "We hunted ghosts in the shadows," he said later. "But the truth was right in front of us. It wasn't rival gangs. It wasn't the cartel. The danger was in his own home, with the woman who had lived in silence for far too long." To this day, Millhaven remembers Daniel Cross with conflicted feelings. To some, he was a villain who profited from misery. To others, he was the man who paid their rent when they fell behind or made sure their kids had uniforms for baseball. And to many, his story is a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest threats aren't in dark alleys or distant cities. They're behind closed doors, in homes where silence hides unspeakable truths. The dirt road where Daniel's truck was found has become something of a landmark. Weeds grow through the gravel, and the woods press close on either side. Locals drive past it quickly, not wanting to linger. Some say you can still feel the weight of that night in the air, a chill that seeps into your bones. You'd never think that's where it all ended, people murmur. But in Millhaven, everyone knows it did. Thanks for watching. For more true crime stories, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next video.